everybody. I want to talk to you about Slice. I am the head of technology and engineering and a co-founder of Slice. And I'd like to first tell you a little bit about Slice, show you a video that'll give you a little more detail, talk about what is the problem we're actually trying to solve, how we're going about solving it, and then wrap up by telling you a little about it. So, first of all, Slice is a free product, and basically what we do is we provide consumers an elegant and convenient way to organize your purchases and to save time and money. The way we do this is you sign up, whoever voluntarily signs up. We automatically pull purchase information from your mailbox, from the electronic receipts in your mailbox. And we basically make it easy for you to track the progress of your orders. We make it easy for you to manage the details associated with your purchases. We provide price alerts to allow you to take advantage of price adjustments, and so you're not leaving any money on the table, and a number of other features that I'll talk about as we roll through the presentation here. But bottom line, we basically allow you to see and manage everything you've bought at the item level, which I think is very unique, and we'll talk a little more about that, and all in one place. So the folks at TechCrunch described our product as Trip It for purchases, but as we go through this, I think you'll see we're attacking an opportunity that's quite a bit bigger than that. So what is the problem, and why are we? What is it that we're trying to do and trying to solve? Well, we know that online retail continues to grow faster than offline retail. About a little more than 10% of all of retail today, if you include travel and daily deals, is represented by online commerce. And about 2 years ago, a little less than 2 years ago, we kind of came to the realization that U.S. consumers are receiving a huge number of email receipts in their inboxes. Today, U.S. consumers are receiving about 8 billion electronic receipts annually from online commerce. And also, it turns out that the fastest growing category for receipts is receipts, electronic receipts from offline purchases. Apple, Gap, Nordstrom, all the major retailers are now offering, or shortly will be offering, electronic receipts for in-store purchases. Also, given this new wave of electronic payment solutions like Google Wallet, PayPal, Visa, Square, we intend to start seeing an accelerated number of electronic receipts. So basically, we're in a world that is transitioning from predominantly paper receipts to paperless receipts. And what Slice is all about is we're trying to provide the platform that allows consumers to effectively manage their detailed purchase information in this future world, current to future world of electronic receipts. We believe email is a great place to receive and store your receipts. It's not a great place to access and act on your receipts, and that's what we're trying to provide. So actually, before I go to the next slide, so what I'd like to do is just show you a video of basically our app that we developed for Yahoo, and it's actually an app inside of Yahoo Mail. And this is something that's been available for a few months now. We launched it in the summer, and it tells a little more about what our app does.
Let's get one thing straight. Your inbox is not a shoebox. But if you're like most of us, it's where all your receipts end up for everything you buy online. And these days, that's a lot. And that's where Slice comes in. It makes online shopping easier by saving time and getting you organized. Just fire up the All My Purchases app in Yahoo Mail. It automatically scans for receipts from your favorite merchants and shows them all in one place for quick, easy reference. It puts the most important information at your fingertips, so you can easily see what you bought and when, how much it was, who sold it, all those details that you never think about until you need them. Slice works with orders in progress, too. It automatically tracks shipping information, telling you when your package will arrive, complete with a map to chart its journey to your doorstep. But what if you're not happy with an order? Slice simplifies the tricky process of online returns by pulling up the merchant's customer service number along with your receipt. It even consolidates your shopping history with the web's top merchants, from big retailers like Amazon and eBay to daily deal sites like Groupon and Living Social. It all happens right in your email, where it stays secure and visible only to you. So check out all my purchases and get organized. Cut through the clutter with Slice.
All right. So currently, we are embedded in Yahoo Mail, and by the end of the year, we'll be exposed to all 90 million Yahoo users. Also, 2 weeks ago, we launched our standalone app, which also supports Gmail, and Gmail's 60+ million users in the US. And very shortly, very soon, I'm not supposed to say the date, but very soon we'll be launching our iPhone app. So look out for that. So I think the unique thing that we're doing here is, again, as I mentioned, we're creating what we think is a very unique set of information assets. We're gathering item-level detail purchase information. It's historical, it's cross-merchant, and it's updated near real time. So imagine having the fidelity of information that Amazon has about the purchases you make at Amazon across all merchants. And that's basically what we're trying to do. If we can create that, that can be very valuable, both for consumers as well as for merchants, as long as, of course, we're very careful from a privacy standpoint, we're very transparent with consumers. Consumers know exactly what they're getting into so that they can utilize this information to be given offers and other things that potentially they wouldn't have available to them if they didn't share that information. As I mentioned before in our discussion, there's a lot of academic research that suggests recently that prior purchase behavior is the best predictor of future purchase behavior. And we think this information is going to be very valuable for it. Again, users' personal information is always kept private and secure. That's central in what we're doing. Again, we're trying to create something that is very valuable information and is managed in a way that's fully transparent. No personally identifiable information is transferred in any transactions. You know, I run the engineering team and technology, so I wanted to just at least spend a minute on what we're doing from a core technology standpoint. And I'm wondering how many in here are engineers or interested at all in, from a technical standpoint, how we're doing this. So we've developed this core technology over the last year and a half, and we've applied for a number of patents. And so I can't tell too much detail, but basically I can tell you what we're trying to do and how we're doing it. So what we do is when a user signs up, we crawl a user's inbox, and we just read headers. We don't read a user's email. We're not in there reading your email. We're reading just your header information, and we're identifying order confirmations and shipping notifications from your header information. Once we've identified a email of interest, order confirmation, shipping notification, or other commercial email related to a purchase that you've made, then what we do is we extract, we read the body of the email, and we extract the individual item level information, the item description, the price, the quantity, and other pertinent information associated with capturing the item level details. So we crawl your inbox, we then parse the emails of interest, and then there is the complex task of making sure that you can match order confirmations to shipping notifications. You may get 3 or 4 emails associated with an order that you've placed and associated with an item that we've parsed. And we need to make sure we can normalize that and make sure we can tie those emails to the right items and so forth. So quite a bit of complexity, and it's taken us a while to do it, but the engine's working quite well. We've built a learning machine that basically gets better the more receipts that we read. We've also tapped a number of key technologists from both the Stanford graduate program, the Natural Language Processing Lab, and machine learning groups, as well as from Google, former Google guys who worked on the core search algorithms at Google. So we created a learning machine that basically, as you see more formats and more receipts and more merchants, it gets better and better and smarter and smarter. So again, the key challenge here is, given the unstructured data, given all the different formats that merchants provide in their receipts, how can we be very effective at finding everything and then parsing everything at the item level at a very high accuracy? So once we have this information, again, item level purchase history on a per consumer basis, what can we do with it? Well, we've talked a little before from a consumer standpoint. We can do hands-free automatic package tracking. There are a lot of package tracking apps on Android and on the iPhone that are not really frictionless. You have to type in your tracking number or cut and paste your tracking number. We can track packages seamlessly without any manual input on the consumer's part, and give push notifications whenever a status has changed. That's something that people who are really heavy online shoppers like. We give you an item level view of all your stuff in one place, so it's easy to find and manage all the details. You know, you want to return something, you want to know how long you have to return something. How do you go about doing that? It's kind of tedious to go into email, find your stuff, go find the return policy for that merchant. We make that stuff very easy. Price drop alerts for recent purchases, as I mentioned earlier, so you won't leave money on the table. If you buy something, and you know, there are lots of merchants who have price protection guarantees. If we lower our price in the next 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, you're eligible for the difference. If you find this item offered by anybody else at a lower price within 90 days of purchasing it, we'll give you the difference, stuff like that. So who has time to scour the web and figure all that stuff out? Well, we built an engine that'll do it automatically. So we can do that for you. And more broadly, slice user data is something that can be very valuable for consumers. I mean, the reason people go online to buy things online is convenience, but also to find great deals, and also to make sure that they are informed. You can do a lot of research online. You can find out who's selling this product, how many different merchants are selling it, what are the different prices, and so forth. And rather than relying on merchants or ads to get your information, being a part of the Slice community lets you see what other people are paying, what they actually paid, not what someone's telling you they're paying, not what an advertisement says you're eligible to pay, but what people are actually paid over the last 24 hours, 36 hours, last week for an item that you're interested in purchasing. So just having the comfort and knowledge of knowing that you're seeing real data rather than advertised data. The real exciting area, though, for consumers, I believe, is that because we believe that the best predictor of what someone is going to buy in the future is their behavior in the past, their specific purchase behavior in the past, we believe that merchants, if they have knowledge of a consumer's purchase history behavior, will be willing to give extraordinary offers to select people with certain purchase history. And I gave the Nike example. I think the Nike one is a good one. Suppose Nike may very well be interested in, for anybody who's spent over $2,000 in the last 12 months on athletic shoes or athletic gear, athletic equipment, but have never bought anything at Nike. Nike might be very interested in giving you a very special offer that they're not interested in giving other people, frankly. So custom...
Would you scan that receipt and put it in the system?
Yeah.
I'm sorry?
Would you scan that receipt and put it in the system?
We'll scan every receipt.
So I was gonna say I'd be very jealous to find out that someone got like my favorite shoe at like 50% off, but I can never get it because it was a custom offer to them then. But
Yeah, but at the same time, you may be getting custom offers that somebody else won't get. It turns out there are probably hundreds of, maybe tens of thousands of people who might get that same offer because they have a similar purchase history profile to what you have.
It just dents your, the actual paying data a bit, because now you're presenting data that's custom. But then you're not telling me it's custom, so I would think that someone out there somehow found a way to get this, but
Yeah,
minor
and
detail.
in terms of presenting data, I mean, I think, we need to think through how we present the data so it's presented in a fair way. We certainly, for these 1,000 people who get this very special deal, we're not going to present that as that's what most people on Slice are paying for this. That's a was a special curated offer. We might package up that information that people who have this type of purchase history are getting curated offers that look something like this. But we need to be careful in terms of how we actually do that, so we're representing it in a realistic way. So, again, if you look at companies like Mint, or you look at credit card companies have transaction level information, not item level information. Credit card companies have information about how much you paid, who you paid it to, and the date you bought it. But they don't have information about, for that $250 you spent on Amazon, that it was really these 5 specific items that you bought. And it turns out merchants, let's think about Amazon, for example. Amazon may know that you are a prolific reader and you buy tons of books on Amazon. But what they might not know is that only 30% of your book spend is on Amazon. Amazon knows exactly what you spent on Amazon. In fact, this item level fidelity, Amazon, has all that knowledge for purchases you've made at Amazon, but not for purchases you've made outside Amazon. And Amazon and Walmart and all the merchants are very protective of that data. They feel like it's a competitive advantage. That's something we need to be very careful about, because we could potentially make these guys angry because we've got a level of information that we're sharing with consumers that they might not want consumers to know. So I think we've kind of cracked the code on the hard technology problem, which is how do you get broad coverage and very high accuracy at parsing all these different formats across thousands of merchants. We've cracked the code on that. We know how to do that. I think our real challenge now is, with this unique asset, this item level purchase history data for individual consumers, how do we make sure we're good stewards of it so that we're adding value to consumers and adding value to merchants at the same time? Make friends, not enemies. So we already have a number of strategic relationships with mail providers, as well as with brands and retailers. We think there's opportunity to work with search providers, social networks, as well as data informatics companies with this information. So again, we're about 2 years into this. Let me tell you a little about the team. So I just threw these pictures up so you can attach some faces to some names. So Scott Brady is our CEO. Harpinder Madan runs product. I run technology and engineering. We're the 3 co-founders. We actually have been working together for about 11 years. We all met at the Stanford Business School back 11, 12 years ago. This is our second company together. We founded a company called Fiber Tower, which was a cell tower backhaul company to build and operate microwave and fiber optic networks that connect cell towers back to core switches for the big wireless operators to prepare for the big transition from mostly voice traffic on cellular networks to what we see today, which is a majority of data traffic. So we built that company over about 7 years and sold it for about we sold it in a $1.5 billion merger, and then took a little time off and got together again and started focusing on this opportunity. So we've got 36 people in the company. We're headquartered in Palo Alto, and we also have a development team in Ukraine. We've got about half of our engineering team here and about half of our engineering team there. As I mentioned, we have tapped a few key Stanford and ex-Google resources, not only for our advisory board, but also some folks that we've hired out of the Stanford NLP program. and this is all public information. We raised $9.5 million in Series A about a year and a half ago, and these are our investors: Lightspeed, DCM, Eric Schmidt, not Google, but Eric Schmidt's personal VC arm. Mike Maples, Mark Goines, who was he was an early investor in Mint, was chairman of the board at Mint for a while before they sold to Intuit. Rick Thompson and Michael Birch, the founder of Bebo. So come check us out. You can find us in Yahoo Mail. You can find us we launched 2 weeks ago on our standalone site at ghostslice.com. And matter of days, not weeks, where we'll be launching our iPhone app. And you can find us there as well. And Android app won't be far behind.
A question.
Yeah.
I guess different consumers have different level of sensitivity in terms of what information is going to be taken out of their mailboxes. What knobs and control are you giving to the consumers in terms of controlling what is going to be uploaded and taken away from their mailbox?
So, as of now, when you sign up, basically you're authorizing us to go access your mailbox and go find all of your purchases at the item level, and then store them securely on our server and present them to you. Only you can see them. One of the things we've done is we've specifically separated out mailboxes and user IDs from the actual data associated with them. So if sometime down the road some very talented hacker can hack our system, they may be able to get a view of all the mailboxes or some number of mailboxes of our users. Or they may be able to see a list of items, but they will never be able to pair the two. So that's one of the key security measures we put very early on. Now, in terms of flexibility, in terms of what we can parse and what we can't parse, right now, if it is a receipt, an email receipt from a merchant, then we will, if we identify it as an order confirmation or shipping notification, we'll parse it and you'll be able to see it in your account. We haven't put at this point, but we're certainly open to user input, haven't put any sort of restrictions on that.
Can you do me, I want to see that these are the ones we found, and this is what we're taking. So I know you're not taking anything else.
Okay, what do you mean by taking?
This is the information I found, this is what I'm uploading. How do I trust you that you're not taking something else?
You have to trust. You have to trust us.
But future product.
But I mean, the problem with what you're saying here is, we can show you what we found, and you need to have some trust that we're being honest about that. The problem is, how can you determine what we're not showing you and what we found? So I don't know how to solve that problem.
You captured the file. This is the file. Is it okay to upload that? Press a button and the file gets uploaded. I control what leaves the desktop or iPhone.
In fact, I would say they should do the processing on the desktop.
Exactly.
And then show it. And,
And this is what I found. This is what I'm going to upload. Is it okay?
Mm-hmm.
You can
the
raise
only
hands to ask questions.
Yeah, yeah. So that's an interesting idea, actually. Maybe one thing we could do in a future release is have the option of doing all of the parsing on the desktop, so nothing leaves your desktop. That's an interesting idea.
Or you can have Yahoo arbitrate.
Excuse me?
You can have Yahoo. I mean, you trust Yahoo, right? So we have to follow only the service.
I'm sorry, I can't hear. Say it again.
I'm saying since we trust Yahoo, so this Yahoo can forward those messages to you for processing. That may work. Right?
Yeah, I mean, the other thing is the customer user experience. You want this to be quick and efficient, but actually, I think that's an interesting thing to think about for people who are concerned and don't want us to parse all of their receipts and all of their items. How can we put in some controls to make those users feel comfortable about that? I mean, right now, the only thing is you don't sign up. If you're not comfortable with it, you don't sign up. Everything we do is through OAuth, and we don't ever see your Yahoo password. We don't ever see your Gmail password. It's done through OAuth, where basically you enter your password to Gmail, authorizing us to remotely access your mailbox. Gmail or Google sends us a token that we use to remotely access it.
How secure is your website? I mean, is there stuff encrypted?
Everything's HTTPS. Everything's SSL. Everything is
I know for
encrypted.
transmission, is it stored encrypted?
I guess it's as secure as giving your name to Gmail or Google.
Means it's not secure then.
Yeah, I think that's a good way to say it.
Please raise your hand if you want to ask questions. Mic here, okay? So someone can hear.
Yes, question. Oh, I'm sorry. First in the back, and then.
Good evening. My name is Scott. I'm co-founder of Social Guides, and my question focuses a lot on social driving discovery. A lot of data analysis is coming forth indicating that people are not going to Facebook to conduct a search to find their new place. They're not conducting a search on Twitter. What they do is they go into their social networks and ask their social networks, what coffee shop should I go to? So what this ends up lending is small businesses, medium businesses, and not particularly large businesses, but are having difficulty getting themselves discovered by not facilitating the social experience of their place well enough for that to enter a social stream to which then somebody else comes and asks the social stream where that place is. What this creates is sort of a threshold that you need a certain amount of traffic to your page, your social network, your stream, etc. That traffic then corresponds by the multiplier to how many people will find you, and that's the discovery mechanism. I was wondering if you can comment on tools or advice or better analytics on the problem itself of smaller traffic social streams getting themselves discovered.
You know, I don't think I have any wise words on that. That's not really an area that we're particularly focused. But I don't know if someone else on the panel might. Yeah.
No, I think that's always an issue. The two ways to think about it. One is the initial seeding, and then how can you use that initial seed to spread the word, right? Initial seeding is something that the business has to do. There's not a whole lot that you can do, through social channels. Social channels can help you spread the word, but to get the initial customers, you need to figure out, through marketing, through other means, you need to do the initial seeding, right? The viral channel, the social channel works really well if you are creating a service that is very compelling, that is something that people like, and if you can get your users of that service or shoppers of your product to then start spreading the word, that's when it can go viral. So initial seeding, there is really no easy answer to that. I mean, that's something that the business has to do. Does that address what you're saying?
It's getting there. I'm also interested in discovery mechanisms. How can a business be found through normal social networks?
Yes. So I think so the first step obviously is to make sure that you're giving this opportunity to every single user of your service or every single shopper. Give them an incentive potentially, if need be, to start spreading the word on your behalf. So that is the most effective channel, right? I mean, you're in terms of the marketing ROI dollars, etc. That channel is the most effective channel by just generating the word of mouth marketing. The second thing that you want to think about is that just doing a vanilla post on Facebook or Twitter or through email, etc.,